Someone can be radical, but on something which is not even radical. Someone can be a football radical. There's big difference between being a fanatic and a radical. Recently, we have seen in our country where there is this issue of goonism. Radicalization starts that way. If your religion too much, for example, Islam, for example, then you love it to a point that you don't want anyone to become any other religion. And when you look at other people from other religion, you look at them as like animals, or you call them kafir, or kafiri too.
Greetings. Welcome to another episode of The Reading Room. As is our tradition, I will start with a quote from a best-selling author. And it reads, "All this begs the question, how do you in almost every battle decimate your enemy and still lose the war?" I will repeat, all this begs the question, how do you win almost every battle, decimate your enemy, and still lose the war? Today we are privileged to have a scholar in studio, and I will allow him to introduce himself. Karibu sana daktari.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Sheikh Hassan Kenyumari, the chairman of Muslim Professionals League Africa. I'm an author of 38 books. I lecture religion, Arabic interfaith studies, and also Sharia at the University of Nairobi and other universities like Riara University, Mount Kenya University, and I'm also an examiner of PhDs at Kenyatta University. I'm also a lawyer, mediator, translator, and interpreter, and I'm very glad to be here today.
Thank you very much. You have quite an impressive CV.
Thank you.
I'm curious, you're an Islamic scholar.
Yes.
And my interest, because of the rising levels of violence in the country, as well as in the region,
yes,
I wanted you to speak to us about radicalization.
Thank you so much for this question, which is very important. You know, radicalization is where someone comes up with a very radical, extreme ideas on something. You know, when people hear of radicalization, they only take it to be totally negative. Someone can be radical, but on something which is not even radical. Someone can be a football radical, meaning that if this guy is for such a team, then they are totally ready to die for that team, and they are not ready to listen to any other person. Someone might be a Muslim, a faithful Muslim. You know, actually, the challenge has always been people thinking that if there's big difference between being a fanatic and a radical. A fanatic is a person who loves something too much, but they can't oppress others because of their love for something. But a radical is a person who will love something too much, trying to force everyone to adhere to the same. So you can be a very great Muslim and you have a lot of passion for your religion, or a great Christian having a lot of passion for your religion, and everywhere you go you talk about your religion, but you are not radical, so that you be and you let others be. The challenge with radicals is that they don't want others to be. And you know, radicalization starts very minute. It starts very slowly. Like recently, we have seen in our country where there is this issue of goonism.
True.
Radicalization starts that way, where a young man somewhere is recruited by someone. The person tells him or her, every time we go to a political rally, for example, please follow me. Anyone who speaks against me, beat them. Now radicalization begins there. Now this person is radicalized slowly. They come to say that now it is either Hassan Kenywa, Governor, Nairobi, or not anyone else. They start with giving some small money. Now it enters in their brain. It's only Hassan Kenywa. It's also like Kenywa. So if you come and talk of someone else, you are just beaten. And you ask, why is he beating me? And it's just matters politics. But to them, it has now entered blood. You love your religion too much, for example, Islam, for example, then you love it to a point that you don't want anyone to become any other religion. And when you look at other people from other religion, you look at them as like animals, or you call them kafir, or kafiri too. So those are now the terms which people use. And when someone has called you kafir now, they believe that even cutting your head is okay, or pressing you is okay. There are also some Christians, you'll hear them say that, the only way to God is through Jesus. And when they look at people who don't believe in Jesus, they look at them and just believe that these are people of hellfire. And the challenge is that, for example, some Christians who might look at some Muslims, for example, and think that Muslims don't believe in Christ, in Jesus. They are wrong. Because Muslims believe in Jesus. But how they perceive Jesus is now the difference. They look at Jesus as a revered prophet of God. Christians look at Jesus as the Son of God. So they all believe in Jesus, but the way they believe in Jesus is now the difference. But now, when you are radicalized, you cannot have time to ask this person, to which extent do you believe in Jesus and how? But if you're not a radical, you open what we call dialogue.
So is there a difference between radicalization and extremism?
Yes, there is.
All right.
The difference between radicalization and extremism is two. Someone becomes extreme first, then they become radical.
I see.
You see, when you talk of extremism, we are talking of a way that you have taken yourself very far from an idea that I'm a Muslim, and everywhere you go, you want to practice Islam, which is okay. Now, you don't even balance where do you want to practice it, how to practice it. You are a Christian, and you go to a matatu or a bus. People are sitting, maybe they have come from work. You just stand, hello everyone, my name is Pastor Kamau, and Jesus says, or what I say, and if you see a Muslim, for example, there you say, the only way to God is through Jesus, and you see a Muslim sitting under you. Now this guy is becoming extreme, because if he was not extreme, he could have talked about Jesus and realized that there's a Muslim here maybe who don't adhere to what I might be preaching and have a balanced way of conversation. Or a Muslim talking somewhere and then saying that, Allah says in the Quran, وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا, and I am pleased that Islam is your religion. But when a Muslim see a Christian, then they come up with the verses of Quran. For example, we are saying, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ, or the people of the book, تَعَالَوْا إِلَىٰ كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَ وَبَيْنَكُمْ, come to words which are near us and you, meaning the words which are balanced. Because Islam teaches that when you live with people from other faiths, you must create a table where they should come for a dialogue and you discuss matters which do not divide you. There are many issues we share, brother. Hunger does not know a Muslim and a Christian. Poverty does not know Muslim or Christian. Illiteracy does not know Muslim and Christian. There are many challenges when they're in community, they don't discriminate, drought and other disasters. So Muslims and Christians and other faiths are supposed to be sitting down to discuss this matter. When they discuss these matters, they are supposed to put things which divide them far from this. Then they discuss this as humanity. And that's, when you do that, you cannot be extreme. But if you remove yourself from that, now you start becoming extreme. After extremism, now you become a radical. Now, a radical is a person who doesn't hear anything. That is why you realize that we have very bad laws about radicalization, where you say that if someone is a radical and they have been established to be a radical by the court of law, then this person, if he's guilty of radicalization, then this person should be jailed for like 30 years or life. Do you know the reason? It's because that transformation, that radicalization is a process. Good thing is that radicalization also being a process, it has levels.
Okay.
You can start radicalization, realize it, then we talk to you, you come back. Okay. But there is a radicalization you reach, my friend, you are ready to die.
All right.
Some radicals are ready to die. Even I've worked many times with I serve in 2 counties, in Nairobi County and Kiambu County, in the counter-violent extremism. It's a body established by government working with counties. And I am in charge of matters theology in the two, and realize that there are people who are ready. There's a time some youth, I don't want to say from which country, they were found crossing to Somalia.
Okay.
They were arrested actually. They are crossed to Somalia, and they were arrested there by the KDF and some agencies. Then they were brought to Kenya, and I was called because I work with the government as also interpreter and translator. I was called by the government agency. I don't want to mention the agency, and I met the young men and one woman.
Right.
And I asked them, where were you going? We were going to Somalia. For what? For jihad. For jihad, yes. You know, they arrested, eh? So you might think because they are arrested, they'll be remorseful.
True.
They said, we are going for jihad. Jihad, yes. Where? Somalia. And you arrested, yes. Then they said, makafiri ndio wametushika, meaning these are infidels are the ones who have arrested us. Imagine. And then I asked them, let me ask you, friends, if maybe you are given chance to go out and be released, will you go back to Somalia? They said yes.
Oh,
Imagine.
I see.
So this is someone who is ready to die and you cannot revert them back. Unfortunately, they were jailed for 30 years.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately.
But the reason I was being called to interrogate them is because there was chance for them to be released actually. Because I used to work with the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims as the director of religious affairs. And I worked very closely with the government and other organizations to de-radicalize the young men. And also to assist the returnees. There are people who have gone there already. Maybe they were lied by someone. And then when they arrive there, they realize that, oh, life here is not like I thought. You know, there are many factors to the same. That's why, actually, in my book, Radicalization, Causes and Solutions, I have discussed some of the causes and solutions to this.
All right. So, as you get into the book, you said there are levels.
Yes.
Perhaps you could be able to outline for us what these levels are in brief.
As a teacher and a lecturer of languages, allow me to divide them into three.
All right.
Though some scholars put them to 6, but personally, even my book, Radicalization, Causes and Solutions, I've divided them into 3. The 3 have made them to be, actually we can call them 4. We call them pre-radicalization level.
Number 1.
Where you listen to the radicals, then you can decide, no, these people are so radical, let me run away from them. Or sometimes you get convinced, then you become a radical. Then now you enter to what we call the beginner's level.
Okay. Level 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you go to what we call the intermediate. Now you have already entered.
Yes.
And now you see your colleagues who have been there, and you see the ones who are there, and then you can decide, oh, no.
You go back.
Let me go back.
Okay.
Now, these people, we do what we call de-radicalization.
Okay.
And we turn them to where they're supposed to be. But now there's that advanced level. When you get to advanced
The fourth
level,
level now.
at the 4th level, now you become a pro. And you are even known in the community, you are radical, and you are happy to become a radical. And you start fighting for positions now in the radicalization field, because, you know, there it's like military now.
Okay.
There are those
ranks.
now, the generals, you are now fighting for the ranks.
Okay.
At that particular time, it's very difficult to return someone back.
All right.
Yes.
So, what inspired you to write about radicalization?
What inspired me, as I said, I worked for the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims for 12 years as the director of religious affairs. And I worked under the great minds like Professor Abdul Ghafur Musaidi, who was the chairman of Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims. I worked under great minds like Ustad Muhammad Shebwana. I remember when I entered SUPKEM first when I was young, I met Honorable Khalif, who died on the plane, with the plane crash. Those are people who mentored me and they nurtured me. At that time, that's when radicalization began in this country.
Okay.
And I encountered many young men and women being killed in Somalia. Some of them were
Sorry.
also...
So when around when was that?
That was around the year, let me say 2000.
Around the year 2000.
After September 11.
After September 11 in 98.
And you know, 98 there was the
98
bombing,
and then
the
to
bombing,
11 in
and then
2000.
September 11.
Yes, yes.
So between that period,
Yes.
I encountered a lot of challenges.
Okay.
I attended many courses. I was invited to go to Senegal. I went there and studied at the Center for Strategic Studies, Africa Center for Strategic Studies. And then I traveled to countries like Mozambique to talk to young men and women, seeing what's happening. I have been to Somalia. I've been to around 45 countries. But for radicalization matter, I have gone to 17 countries.
17.
And I realized the challenges people are undergoing and the causes of the same.
All right.
That's why I decided to do massive research. The research took around 7 years, and that's when I came up with the book, Radicalization, Causes and Solutions.
Okay. So perhaps then we can dive deeper into it. So what are the causes of radicalization?
Thank you so much. There are several causes of radicalization. The first one is the issue of ignorance.
Okay.
Ignorance is a key factor to radicalization. When you're ignorant, your brain is empty. So anyone can put anything they want in your brain. The second one is the issue of ideology. When you start learning and gaining an ideology from someone, and then you like someone's ideology, then they push you to follow that ideology. It can push you to radicalization without even you knowing. Actually, there are people who enter radicalization without them knowing. It is people who start telling you, Maina, we have realized that you are living your beard too much, and every time we come to the family, you are so bitter on anything. What's happening with you? Then maybe they can bring you back to senses.
Yes.
The third one is actually the issue of economy. And let me tell you, my brother,
Okay.
especially in Kenya, the biggest reason has been economy. The other one is misinterpretation of our religious texts.
Okay.
So the two,
Okay.
the issues to do with economy and misinterpretation of religious texts.
Can you expound on what you mean by misinterpretation of religious text?
Okay, thank you so much. When you come to Islam, in the Holy Bible, on the Quran, we are told that every place you meet the infidels, then kill them. Mm-hmm. There is a verse in Quran which talks about when you meet infidels, then finish them. Now, that verse is still in the Holy Quran. But the issue is the context and the timing. There was a time when Islam was highly fought by the Quraysh of Makkah. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was pushed to leave Makkah because he loved peace. So he had to run away from his own place. Then they've also followed him in Medina. Now they kept on following him everywhere he goes. Then God told him, because those people are coming with sword to finish you. And then when you meet them and they are having sword, the only way to do is to fight them back so that at least you can defend yourself. Unfortunately, when people recite the verse many times, it's called Surah Tawbah. It's very important for everyone to recite Surah Tawbah. They take it out of context. You don't apply that verse today, my brother. You are a Christian. Yes, I don't know your religion, but I am a Christian. Yes. Now, we have come here for an interview. Then I come and kill you. Why should I kill you? And you are a great friend.
The interview, unfortunately, we have come to an end if you kill me.
Actually, come to an end and I'll go to jail,
and you go to jail.
Lifetime. So that verse had a context and timing.
Okay.
You come to the Holy Bible, it has many verses. Actually, I always keep on telling people something and they laugh. You know, I thank God I've even written a book on comparative religion where I talk of around 15 religions of the world. Okay. And I keep on telling people that I ask questions to people, and this is the question I'm asking you, our viewer. Between Islam and Christianity, between Quran and the Bible, which one has more verses which can lead to radicalization? Which book has many verses telling people to kill? Actually, people don't even understand. The Bible has many verses which talk of killing than even the Holy Quran.
I see.
There is a place where the Bible says that if you have a nini, you sell it and buy a sword. There are many verses of the same.
So
but
then-
the good thing is that the Christians themselves
yes.
have tried their level best not to put things out of context.
I see.
Unfortunately, in Christianity, there is this thing of trying to make sure that your books are handled by the ordained people.
True.
In Christianity, you'll hear that there is a brother, there is a sister, there is a bishop, there is a brother, there is a pastor, there's a bishop, there's a bishop,
There's a deacon.
and there's a deacon.
There are levels of.
Aha! The challenge in Islam is this.
Okay.
And in Christianity, we also have the issue of ordination.
Yes, we do.
Unfortunately, in Islam, and this is something which, when I was in the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, I kept on talking about, and that's why currently I was nominated and elected to become the chairman of Muslim Professionals League Africa. In Islam, you can find someone who has gone to Saudi Arabia. He was a makanga.
In Saudi Arabia.
Or a tout, for those who know who makanga is. And the person who is a tout in a matatu in Saudi Arabia or buses, most of them are buses, he learns some Arabic language. When he comes to Kenya, he becomes a madrasa teacher. Remember, this person did not study Islam. It's only that he is there and he studied Arabic language. And because Muslims believe everyone who speaks Arabic language is an imam, that's where the challenge comes in. Someone comes out of a country like Kuwait, for example, and because there, in those countries, even the driver of the bus puts on a kanzu. Even Mkokoteni person have a kanzu, and sometimes even kilemba. Like in Yemen, almost all Yemenis have kilemba. So when you go there, you'll find even a farmer in the farm with kilemba. So if you are Kenyan or an African, when you look at those people, you think they are all sheikhs.
So by kilemba, you mean the turban?
And the turban.
Okay.
So the problem has been in Kenya, we don't have control of who can teach madrasas. Madrasas do not have a standardized way of teaching. So a madrasa will teach this, another one this. Some books of madrasa are from Saudi Arabia, some from Yemen, some from Iran, some from Kuwait. But we thank God, through Muslim Professionals League Africa, we have standardized that we have books authored by Kenyans, for Kenyans, by Kenyans. And I thank God I have been the chair of this. Through this, we have authored around 38 books of Islam, different topics, which are for Kenya. So a child in Kenya will learn about being patriotic and loving Kenya, not loving Saudi Arabia and doing Kenya, or loving Somalia and doing Kenya, or Sudan. So we have standardized that. And we have also started the standardization of what we call who is a Ma'alim. This is a madrasa teacher. And we have come up with ranks. We have now Ma'alim, we have assistant Ma'alim, we have Ma'alim, we have senior Ma'alim, and we have chief Ma'alim.
Okay. Ma'alim is mwalimu.
Mwalimu.
I see.
Mostly these are people who teach our children Quran.
I see.
Then, especially in Duxis, then we have now madrasa teacher. Even madrasa teachers, we have come up where we have an assistant madrasa teacher, we have a madrasa teacher, we have senior madrasa teacher, and then we have now the leader of madrasa teachers. For imams, we have come with an assistant imam, the imam himself, then a senior imam, and chief imam in a place.
Okay.
We have also come up with an issue of a preacher.
Okay.
So now we have come up with these categories, and we thank God that we give certification for all this, and also we give ranks. People are very bitter with us.
Okay.
They have said that you are bringing something which is not our religion. You are copying the Christians, but we are asking Muslims and every viewer. Our religion has been very clear. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us, "Khudhul hikmah walau kana min afwahil majanin." Take wisdom, even if it is from mad person. There are some mad person who are very smart.
Usually, most smart people are smart people.
I'll give you one example.
Give me one.
In Lamu, There was one mad person. Mad, yani, when people see him, he's mad. And one day, he was praying Salat Dhuhr, the afternoon prayer, which is 4 rak'ats. He prayed 2, and he was leaving the mosque. Before he finished, he met one great imam. And the scholar asked him, the imam and scholar, he asked him, his name was Boke. He was, of course, he's dead. That's why I'm mentioning his name. I said, Boke, mbona Kiswahili, mbona watoka msikitini hatujamaliza? Why are you leaving the mosque and we have not yet finished praying? There was a very big ground there, and the young men and women were playing football. He asked the imam, Imamu, wanauliza mimi mbona sijamaliza rakaa 2? Ikiwa Mungu atanichoma, mimi atanichoma nusu. Wale vijana watachomwa full. Na wewe imamu utachomwa zaidi kwa sababu mimi nimeswali 2. Kwa hivyo Mungu shampa 2 zake. 2 shauri yake atachukua vile atanifanya. Wale vijana ungewaita wao kwanza ndio waje msikitini. Hata kama swali moja waende lakini wafike msikitini. And then he reminded him, wewe utachomwa zaidi, because in Islam we are told that وعالم بعلمه لم يعملا معذب من قبل عباد الوثن وكل من بغير علم يعمل أعماله مردودة لا تقبل. وعالم, a scholar, بغير علم وعالم بعلمه لم يعملا, a scholar who doesn't use his knowledge to empower others and enlighten others, according to Islam, he will be punished with those people who worship the idols. Yani, what we are trying to say, he'll have the most severe punishment before God.
I see.
And anyone who deals and do things without knowledge, then their worship will not be accepted. So you see, you might think that person is mad, but he taught that imam a lesson. And this is a challenge many religious leaders have. When people are in mosque or church, you are not supposed to abuse them. We have seen even some preachers who are radicals. Even preachers, both Muslims and Christians. You can see a pastor where people have come to church or mosque and they have done something wrong. Then you talk to them, putting in their mind as if they are going to hellfire. But our work, because now I'm saying our work because I'm also a preacher, is to bring people closer to God. So what I'm trying to say, we can also be very extreme. So that person, he taught this imam a lesson that next time, don't look at what I'm doing first.
Okay.
Go and bring those who have not come closer, and those who are closer now, you could have requested. He told him, you could have requested me, Boke tafadhali turudi tuswali. Sikuniuliza swali, ungeniuliza kama swali, ungeniomba, Boke naomba turudi tumalize. So he was teaching courtesy in speaking. He was teaching him how his work should be done. So even us, as we categorize the imams currently, and we give them certification, we are seen to do what's not right, but in Islam, that is very important.
I see. So you mentioned there is an element of economy.
Yes.
And what did you mean by that? What about the economy?
Let me tell you, my brother. I was an imam.
Okay.
For many years, for more than 12 years. And my salary was Kenya shillings 3,000. And every time I hear of a new place to go and work, I used to go and I would find 3,000. I asked myself one time, does it mean the madrasa teachers and imams are only supposed to get 3,000? And I was told maximum is 5,000. I realized that this is not the place to be. So I went back and sat for KCSE as a private candidate. And I was old.
Okay.
I thank God I succeeded to complete and get a good result. I entered the University of Nairobi. I got first class honors in my bachelor's.
Impressive.
And then I did the master's. I got 14 A's and only 2 B's. Nice. And then I did my PhD in a record of only 2 years. Then after that, I did LLB, law degree, and I finished in 4 years. I'm now at Kenya School of Law, and I've finished everything. I'm now just doing the exams as CLE, and I'm continuing my master's in law. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you, my brother, since I left, I finished Form 4, and then I started teaching in town. I realized that you get more when you are outside that setup.
Okay.
And I thank God I also got job with the Tangazo University as my first job. And when I went there, that was in the year 2008, the person who was there told me that, you'll be teaching for us Arabic language, and you'll be paid 2,000 per hour.
Per hour.
I thought that Mzungu, because he was a Mzungu, I thought he's mad.
It's confusing.
Or confusing. But I kept quiet.
Oh, interesting.
So you see, if it's per hour 2,000, and my unit I'm teaching 3 hours, that is 6,000. If I get 6,000 per month, I'm getting 6,000 times 4. That's how much? 24,000.
24,000.
Yani, I'm getting 24,000 for coming to university only 4 times a week. I came to learn. Yani, I can make more money for teaching 6,000, meaning that that's my 2 months salary. I can make my 2 months salary in only 1-2 hours at the university. That's why I began now realizing why we have a challenge where sometimes you realize that some imams, unfortunately, are the ones who are levered to radicalization. Because if you pay me, let's say nowadays, at least we have fought for the imams. I'm the founder of Al-Wahda Muslim Teachers Association. I came up with an association to fight for the rights of ma'alims, of madrasas. And I kept on saying that you cannot pay a nursery school teacher 15,000 and you pay an imam 5,000. It's a shame. You cannot pay a primary school teacher 20 or 30,000 and you pay madrasa teacher only 5,000. It's a shame. This Maalim madrasa teacher is teaching for you, nurturing your child spiritually, academically, character. They do a lot sometimes than even school teachers. I'm not discriminating, but they are with the children many times. Then you pay them only 5,000. So I started fighting for the rights of the Maalims. Unfortunately, my brother, I was fought by the Muslim communities in the entire country.
Okay.
They said this is a reformer, but a negative reformer. How can he come and tell us that you cannot pay an imam less than 10,000? Who is he to say that? Why is he saying that a madrasa teacher should be paid at least 15,000? Who is he to say that? But I thank God they came to learn. I told them, if you don't pay imams good money, if someone comes and lies to the imam, how are you? There is this job you can do. What do you say? The imam would realize that going to Somalia is easier for me because what they are kept on being told, I'm telling you something which is from practical, is that if you go to Somalia, we'll give you a lump sum of 300,000. You count and realize that this is a lot of money. You're told that will live for your family, and even you will give you like 100,000 to hold in your pockets. This person, if you have never seen this money, my friend, he'll go. He's not going because he likes what he'll be going to do there, but he sees lucrative life, and then he'll be told that we will send your family at least 50,000 per month. So the person said that even if I die, at least my family will be assisted. Then you are also told sometimes that we'll even give you like, if you die there, we'll give your family 10 million, for example. Even if it's 3 million, for example, you see, this is a lot of money. So this is the challenge we have had. And I highly, highly thank Honorable Zainab Hussein, who was the Principal Secretary, Correctional Affairs. I highly thank Honorable Matiang'i, because we had this conversation one time with Honorable Matiang'i in Mombasa, where I had gathered around 1,000 members of Al-Wahda Muslim Teachers Association, the teachers of this country, not only from Mombasa, they were from all over the country. We had a 3 days workshop in Mombasa because we work very closely with Kenya Institute of Foreign Languages and Studies and International Journal of Languages and Studies to empower the imams. So we were empowering them. Then it happened that Honorable Matiang'i was in Mombasa. Then we invited him to come and talk to the imams. And he was so eager to come. He just, because 1,000 teachers in one place, of course, you understand politicians, and they know imams and madrasa teachers, they have a lot of followership in the country. So he came, and he came with Kibicho. And when he came there, we talked, and then he asked me, Sheikh, what can we do for imams? Because he came with the issue to talk about the issue of radicalization. Okay. I gave them the same reason. I told them 3 key things. One is ignorance. The same way I've explained here. The second one is the issue of misinterpretation of text. And I told him, these are the people, if we talk to them well, they are the ones who will go and correct that misinterpretation of texts. The other thing is the issue of economy. These Malims, most of them get more or less than 5,000. And I asked the imams, if you're an imam here and you have salary, raise your hand. Actually, some imams don't have salary.
Oh.
Yes, even some madrasa teachers, they don't have salary. Okay. They collect 20 bob from children or 50 bob. Okay. When they raise their hand, only a half raised their hand. But Yangi was astonished. How? What do you mean they don't have salary? They said we volunteer.
Okay.
And then I asked the second question. Amongst you, how many of you get more than 5,000 as salary? Only like a third raised their hands. Allah, the Imam, the Mahondra Matiangi, realized that I know what I'm saying. How many of you get 10,000? Only like 10% out of those. Like only 100 of them were earning 10,000 then. So he asked me, what can I do for the Imams? I told him three things, Honorable Matiangi. The first one, if we can empower these Imams and make sure that, many people who go to madrasa, they don't go to normal school. Many of them, they only go to madrasa. It's called Duksi. They begin when they are young, like 4 years old or 3 years old. They memorize the Holy Quran. Then they don't see the need of going to normal school, because when they memorize the Holy Quran, they start becoming imams of mosques.
Okay.
So they just continue there. I'm not saying it's bad, it's good. I also envy people who have memorized Quran. I've also memorized Quran. But now, what imams are supposed to do, I told Honorable Matiani, let us support these imams to do KCPE, those who have not done it. And then we support them to do KCSE. He agreed.
Okay.
He said that's a matter of talking to the Minister of Education, to talk to her neck, to be allowing that. Fortunately, I told him, you don't have to talk to the minister because it's something which is ongoing. Even him, he had forgotten. So now we asked him to give us some fundings to walk the entire country to talk to the imams. Fortunately, those 1,000 imams will represent the entire country. So we told them, all of you, when you go back, go. For those of you who have not done KCPE, go and do it. For those who have not done KCSE, do it. And almost all those imams who are there now, almost all of them are in government. I told him the second thing. Those imams who are Form 4, we can sponsor them to do diploma in religious studies and Arabic language. When they finish, that's automatic work in school to teach IRE. And then the third one, I told him, because you are the super minister and you are a good friend to Kibicho, tell Kibicho that in all Kenya prisons, there are chaplains,
yes.
Christians,
yes,
but we don't have Muslims. So he told me, he called the PS then. Hello, so-and-so, I would like to know how many chaplains we have in Kenya prison. She said the number. How many Muslims? He said, very small number, like only 25. How many are Christians? They were more than 100. Okay. Then he said that he told us, God willing, we shall make an advertisement and we'll employ the imams. And they gave us 168 slots. But even with that, Christians fought for the slots. So Muslims were only given, they were given around 300, because all prisoners now didn't have Muslim chaplains. But unfortunately, the Christians started fighting, you cannot only advertise for Muslims only, it should be open advertisement. But I told Muslims, don't even stand, because there are some who had said, we have to come up and be against the Christians. I told them, my friend, I understand the government better than you. I work with the government. I work with the University of Nairobi. That's government. I know how government works. If you start coming against and now start fighting, that can be cancelled. Let us allow it to be the way it is, then we lobby. So we got around 100 chaplains, we thank God. Nice. They were employed in the government. You see now, out of those, now at least 100 are now in government. And every year, they keep on adding more. Okay. Then after that, I call the head of KDF then, military. I talked to him about employing chaplains in the KDF. They were employed. Then I also called the police, the commissioner of police then. We had chaplains in Kenya Police. I called the Minister of Health then. I was so powerful. I was in in SUPCAM. At the same time, I'm the chairman of Muslim Professors in Africa. It's just a matter of a phone. Then I called the minister, and then I told him. Then he told me we'll also establish in every hospital, we'll get a position for chaplain. And then also the head of airports authorities, every airport will have chaplains. So we realize that in most of these places, we have a Christian chaplain. What we didn't have are Muslim chaplains. So we started opening up the day, and we realized from that time, the issue of radicalization has highly disappeared. It's very minimal currently.
Okay.
And for those who cannot meet any of those, we also we told them that you can start registering their madrasa, fund the madrasa. We are happy with especially in northeastern region, where the governors of those areas are supporting madrasa teachers. They employ them under the education department of the county to teach madrasas and duks, and they pay them. Those are some of the things we have done to minimize radicalization. So we realize that tackling the economic part of the discourse of radicalization has reduced radicalization by almost 80%. Almost. We have very few radicals currently, but those times there were many.
All right, so you've been to 17 countries with regard to
radicalization.
Radicalization.
I've traveled to 45 countries of the world.
Yes.
But to other countries, 17, I've gone there to teach people about the issues to do with radicalization and extremism.
So, what are the similarities as well as the differences with regard to the nature of radicalization in some of these countries that you've been to?
Yes, thank you so much. Some of the similarities of these countries is the issue of economy.
Okay.
And you realize that, like in Mozambique, we have well, there's a name they call it Cab something. It's a region, like coast region,
okay.
Where those young men and women, that community, say that they are marginalized.
Okay.
So the reason of radicalization actually is not more of religion.
It's marginalization.
Marginalization. But unfortunately now they happen to be a Muslim community. So when they are fighting for their rights, and most of them are Muslims, of course, you see, if the Imam is talking to them, he will come and tell them, you know, in our religion, you're not supposed to be radical. So it is taken to be Muslims now. And when you go to a country like Somalia, radicalization has come because of power.
Okay. Fight for political
fight for political power. When you go to a country like Palestine, you realize that now they are fighting for their land. When you come to Kenya, there are several reasons. You know, Kenya is a very funny country, a very diverse country. One of the reasons that Kenya is the way it is because we are the hub of Africa. And you know, many countries, traveling to many countries in Africa, they pass through Kenya.
Pass through JKA.
At JKA. Then they go to other regions of Africa.
Okay.
And also people traveling to other continents. The strategy of Kenya, especially Nairobi, is a place whereby anyone can come and then go to other destinations. Not only with KQ, but with other countries, with other planes. And then you come to realize that Kenya, we have a long ocean line. Many ships come to Kenya as they go to other places. So that is one of the factors which have made many people be able to come to Kenya and radicalize Kenya in different ways. Because in Kenya, you find people who are radicalized because of economic matters. You go to, for example, the issue of the people of Kwale and that side of Mombasa, who are saying Mombasa si pwani. To them, it was more of also resources. They feel that we are marginalized because every money or the wealth of Kenya actually begins from Mombasa, the port of Mombasa, which is true. And they feel that we are marginalized. But you know, some of the reasons why some people are marginalized is because they don't go to school. So if you don't go to school, when KPA, Kenya Ports Authority, is employing people, they will not employ you. Even if you are from Mombasa or Kwale and you are not learned, they will not employ you. They'll employ someone from another county who has education. So what I'm trying to say is that, you see, now out of that, then the radicalization came in. So those are some of the reasons why we have seen in Kenya there's the issue of religion. And the problem of religion in Kenya is that books were brought from many countries to Kenya, from Saudi Arabia, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, from Somalia, from Sudan, from many Egypt, from many countries. And some of the books have radicalization. In fact, there's a time we worked with the Kenyan government and we realized that there were many radical elements in our own books which are taught and passed by KICD. We had to write to KICD. How do you allow something like this to enter the book? And that's why we decided now to at least amend the books, correct the book, edit the books. And that's why we highly thank Chance Publishers Limited. It is one of the publishing houses in Kenya, which actually have great editors who are trained to support the issues of radicalizations in the book. They are taught on how to make sure that there is no any religion is marginalized. Because in Kenyan education books in IRE, they were teaching the issue of Tawheed. And in the book of Tawheed, they are teaching of God being divided into three, or Tawheed being divided into three. Uluhiyya, Rububiyya, Asma wa Sifat. And when you look at this ideology of Tawheed, this is not a general Muslim principle of Tawheed. Okay. This is what we call, let me call it our Wahhabi school of thought, sect. Okay. So why should KICD allow only one segment of Islam, only one sect of Islam put their element in books which are read by children of all other schools of thought? You know, in Islam is divided into two. We have Sunni and we have Shia. Sunnis are divided into three. Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, and Hanbali. Now, Wahhabism is a sect of Hanbali. So why do they allow the Wahhabis who come from the school of Hanbali to impose the ideology to our children? That is where the radicalization starts coming from. Okay. So we told them, remove this idea from the books. Let the children learn about the attributes of God. Let the children learn the nature of God. Let the children learn the teachings of God in Quran, of Allah in the Quran and Hadith. This issue of dividing Tawheed, leave it to our children. Our children don't want to hear that. So we thank God we have played a lot of things in this country as far as Muslim Persons League Africa is concerned, and also Peace League Africa is concerned, Chance Publishers Limited is concerned. And then we began a process. We wrote to Kenya Institute of Foreign Languages and Studies, which has one of the best curriculum on teaching religion is concerned. They started teaching madrasa teachers on issues to do with business, entrepreneurship, madrasa organization. That's why I came up with a book on masjid organization in 21st century. That book was used to teach madrasa teachers what they are teaching, and also the imams on how things should be done. And I'm telling you, out of that, we have highly reduced radicalization in this country.
I see. So you have gleaned over some of the remedies to radicalization, like economic empowerment of
imams and madrasa teachers.
What are some of the other remedies that you have recommended in your book?
Other remedies which you have recommended in our books, number one, as you have said, one key is education. Where we have, currently, we have traveled to all the countries or the counties of Kenya. In fact, I just arrived yesterday from coast. Most personally, I took the coast region. I traveled to, I began the journey I flew to Mombasa, but we had some people who began the journey from here with 3 cars following each other. From Nairobi County, we went to Machakos County, Makueni County, Taita Taveta County, Mombasa County, Kwale County, Tana River County, Lamu County, and Kilifi County. How we were sensitizing the imams on the issue of registering for KCPE, because this year is the final KCPE. And then next year, 2027, will be the final KCSE. True. So we are urging the imams of this country and ma'alims, those who didn't go to normal school, conventional school, to go and just register. And the government has allowed. We petitioned the government to open up to everyone. They have agreed. anyone who is 18, who actually is above 20 and above or 18, and they want to sit for the exams. They don't have to have even entered nursery school. They can go and register and then sit for KCSE, and then next year they sit for KCSE.
Okay.
So, education. The second thing is to come up with books which teach people about tolerance. Personally, I've written 4 books which are geared to the same. I've written a book on Islamic law. In it, I have taught what Islamic law teaches us on having dialogue with others. I came up with a book, Pieces of Me, my journey into interfaith dialogue and diplomacy.
I love that title, by the way, Pieces of Me.
Yes, because we want to teach people how to live with each other. And then we have come up with a book on comparative religion, which is the newest.
Okay.
And then we have a book on chaplaincy, on motive and perspective. We have written a book on environment, motive and perspective. So issues to do with literacy and books. The other third one is to empowering the imams and women. The fifth one is the issue of nurturing the young children. The young children, we are saying them, we don't want any one of them to be exposed to any book which might have any radical element in it. So we have called upon KSED and other bodies to collaborate with Muslim Process Dig Africa, with Peace Dig Africa, with Chance Publishers Limited, and other organizations which can at least assist them to look at this element.
Okay.
And then the others is the issue of we have what we call scriptural reasoning. We have come up with a project called scriptural reasoning. We began it in this country, and we have seen many universities doing it currently. We don't want to mention the universities, but because it's a positive thing we can mention, we have Harmony Institute, which is doing it. We have Africa International University is doing it. We have Tangazo University is doing it. And actually, I'm going to Oxford University to go and lecture this in 1 month's time. I'll be there in August.
Okay.
Scriptural reasoning is where we come up with a topic. For example, health. And then we ask you, what does your religion say if you are Hindu? Then you say it. What does Islam say? What does Christianity say? Then we come up with a solution of how to handle health matters.
Okay.
I'll give you an example, my brother.
Okay.
Muslims are highly left behind in this country, if you have realized or not realized. I was invited to Hare Krishna in Mombasa. I have realized that they have their own school. First, of course, the temple. Near the temple, they have their school, nursery, lower. Then they have primary, they have secondary, they have a college. And when you finish, you go to a university in India through the same channel. They have the hospitals, they have hotels, they have almost everything. You come to the Shia community of this country, you realize that they have almost everything. You go to Catholic with the church, they have their schools, they have their colleges, they have university, they have hospital, they have hotels, they have everything, even estates. And they have their own TV. So what I'm trying to say is that communities are very organized, but Muslims are not organized. And you see, if Muslims were working very closely with these people, they will not even have a problem. Because if you have a mosque here, a church here, and a synagogue here, and a temple there, then we can ask, can we build one hospital which will take care of all the community members? Instead of having St. Nini Catholic Hospital, why don't we say Nina Nini for the community? Okay. And then if it's a school also, why can't you call a school a name without attaching it to a church or a mosque? So if people work together in interfaith perspective, they'll achieve more than when they do it separately. Okay. So the issue of interfaith dialogue, we have been championing it, comparative religion.
And it's a good thing because as we are coming to as we conclude this conversation, I wanted to understand the interfaith, the interfaith dynamics that you have explored with regard to radicalization. Yes.
Thank you so much. The interfaith approach which we have explored on interfaith matters is, as I'm telling you, bringing faith leaders of different religions in one table. They come discuss matters, and then the followers can see if my archbishop can sit with the senior most imam in this country, or with the senior most leader of the Hindu temple here. Who am I to fight there? Okay. So that's one of the ways we have worked on this, and we have also worked with the and many other communities to come up with books on teaching people how best to live together. And then we have other projects we do. We do feeding program every Saturday of the month where we give food to everyone. Sometimes we even invite pastors, we invite the Indian, the rabbis and the monks to come, and we do it together. So this has shown people that people can live together. And of course, the issue of awareness in most madrasas, schools, we do it as with Peace League Africa. So it's something we do, you know. A good thing is that we, Muslim Peace League Africa, work very closely with Peace League Africa. We work very closely with the Chance Publishers Limited. We work very closely with the International Journey of Languages and Foreign Studies. We work very closely with the Kenya Institute of Foreign Languages and Foreign Studies. And we collaborate with Africa International University, Tangazo University, Harmony Institute, the University of Nairobi. And then we have many people working together towards restoring Kenya and protecting Kenya from issues to do with radicalization and other problems. We also work very closely with Kenya prisons, actually, where we go to talk to our people in the prison. We talk to them many times, especially Machakos prison, where Ustaz Sophia Rashid is the Maalimat. She invites us many times to talk to those people. We work very closely with the chief imam of Kenya prison, Abbas Mateker, the Kenya police, the military. So we work with many other people to try to bring harmony and at least reduce radicalization in our country.
Thank you very much. We are really privileged to have had you in studio, and you really helped us gain a better grasp of radicalization and the different dynamics of radicalization and the remedies for it. So, viewers, we've come to the end of this session, and I look forward to seeing you in our next episode.
Perhaps something I've forgotten.
Sure.
It's important to tell our viewers if you want to get a copy of these books, you can go and visit Chance Publishers Limited website. And if also you want to know about what we do, because there's a lot we do, you can go and Google www.drhassankenywa.co.ke www.drhassankenywa.co.ke. You'll see a lot of what we do, and you can also visit the website of Peace League Africa and also Muslim Peace League Africa, and there are many books which you can read and you understand this topic, especially the book on radicalization, causes and solutions.